Alright, boom. Hey, what the fuck is up, man? Oh, I'm looking pretty as hell. I'm just trying out a new vlog format. I just want to be closer to you. That's what it is. That's probably too close though. Anyway, you can see more of my room. Dude, I don't even have a lamp. Like, I have a light bulb. Like, that's next level ghetto. Like, I just have a bunch of cables sticking from my ceiling, man. Anyway, let's get to the video though. Alright, the single most asked question that I get on Instagram, and I'm not talking about my sexuality, I'm talking about my Photoshop brushes. Although I'm definitely doing a video on the first one, so you better stay tuned. So that's why if you could only remove all the people in my DMs asking me about my brushes, like you'd have to remove all of them. Actually, you'd still be left with like the 50% of dumb motherfuckers asking me to draw them for free. Like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? And the 3 girls that keep sending me nude pics, which I'm really grateful for, because it's really like hey, why everybody gotta ask me for free shit, like tutorials and brushes and everything? Like, why can't you just be like, hey, by the way, here's the boobie, like, I just thought you might enjoy that, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. But anyway, back to the Photoshop brushes though. First of all, let me ask you something. If you're not using Photoshop, what the fuck are you using? And it better not be one of those goofy anime apps like Anime Sketchbook 3500, and it always has to have a number behind it, like fucking 5000. Why can't it just be fucking version 1, you know? Why don't you just be professional, download Photoshop, and act like a grown-up? I like how I just said professional. I don't even have a lamp behind me. Oh boy. And I know you might be thinking like, Angel, I don't have money for Photoshop, man. And you know, we're on the internet. Like, everything is free. Everything except my Patreon, where I need you to pay me money. But anything other than that, it's like, like do whatever you have to do, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, Adobe spends 20 years developing the best app in the world, and it's like you can pirate it. But my 10-minute goofy tutorials though, you better pay money for that. I'm sorry, man, I keep getting distracted. Back to the Photoshop brushes. I feel like brushes are both underrated and overrated at the same time. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't, but it kind of does in my head. Cause like, you have 2 types of people, right? Like, the first type are those people that are like, man, brushes are the most important thing. And those motherfuckers download like 1,000 brushes and just fucking have a specific brush for every little thing, and their paintings just look like a bunch of trees and clouds got copy pasted from an image. And it's really like, man, that's not how digital painting works though, right? And then the second type are the people who are like, man, Photoshop brushes don't even matter, I use the basic round brush. And their paintings look like a kindergarten just took a colored pencil and just started doing that shit. Like, he wasn't even holding it right, like he was just doing this. And by the way, don't even get me started on basic round brushes. Like, I fucking hate that shit. It's really like, man, do you realize what people do with Photoshop? Like, they be making movies and shit. Actually, not movies though, I'm so ignorant. But they're making spectacular shit, and you wanna say that you're using the basic round brush, the most boring brush in the world? Dude, it's really like you have the most dirty, perfectly engineered sex robot in the world, and you're just using it for hand jobs. It's like, do you know what it's capable of though? And I mean, I guess it's kind of complicated, but at least it's not like traditional painting where you have to spend like money and buy like an actual brush every time. And on top of that, you have to clean it. Like, man, come on, I'm a painter, I'm not a cleaner. Fuck out of here with that, oh, you just have to wipe it and brush it a couple of times, man, fuck that. You know digital is the best, you know it. And let's be honest, like, standard Photoshop brushes are just, they suck ass. Like, dude, they're so bad that they literally need to put like little icons to tell you what this brush is for. Like, oh, this is supposed to be watercolor? I just thought it's another random round brush that you can do absolutely nothing with. Jesus, Angel, would you stop complaining about everything? What's your genius solution? Actually, I don't have one. I'm just a bitch and I like to complain. I mean, I do have a brush pack. I stole it from other people, but I've been using it for like 6 years, so it's kind of like it's mine. But anyway, what worked for me is really finding one brush that you can master and use as your main brush, right? Like, you just know its edges, you know its texture, you know how to use it. And by the way, how are you gonna master it if you're using the basic round brush that has no texture, and literally no matter how you rotate it, it's still the same fucking form? Jesus, why am I going so hard after the basic round brush? I don't know what the fuck it did to me though. And besides a main brush, I would also keep like 5 to 10 brushes that you know very well and you can use for like specific things. And maybe like 100 other texture brushes that you have no idea what they're for, but you're just keeping there, so if anybody just checks your Photoshop, you can kind of flex with them. Like, hey, look at my brushes though. Like, I don't have a lamp, but I got these brushes though. Anyway, I put my brush back for free on my website, and I also did a free tutorial for you on how to use them. Because I honestly, like, I just hate when people just drop a fucking random ass brush back, and it's really like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? And I promise I actually teach you like something, and I don't just act like an asshole like I do here. But overall, you need to fucking paint. Like, you need to practice. Like, there's no magic pill. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna practice regardless, you might as well be using some cool brushes and not the basic round brush. So download my brushes. All you have to do is put your email down and I'm gonna send them to you. And I'm also gonna send you some tutorials and painting tips and maybe some news. Like, who knows? You don't wanna miss out. So link is in the description, or go to wiseignorant.com/brushes, and I'll see you there, man. And you better be watching my fucking podcast every Monday. Ha! Tired of this shit!